Welcome to OnCore for the week of March 11th. Let's get right into the biggest news in mobile games. So last week we talked about the critical and commercial success of Clash Royale, the new digital card hybrid game from Supercell. This week we're talking about a couple games that are looking to enter the online multiplayer PvP market that Clash Royale has proven to be a hugely successful formula. First up, Polygon recently previewed a new RPG called Labyrinth, which has been described as Hearthstone meets Dungeons and Dragons. The game is currently being developed by Free Range Games, who has previously worked on licensed games like Goosebumps and Tech Deck. CEO Chris Schultz describes the new game as a tactical role-playing game, turn-based party movement dungeon crawler, but all your characters are cards. You want to swing your sword, you want to buff your dude, you want to throw a fireball, those are all cards. And even though Free Range is very open about the game's Hearthstone inspiration, Labyrinth has a lot going for it to set itself apart. In the game, you control a party of 3 heroes in the match rather than 1, with each of those heroes also being the rare and exciting cards you'll find in packs. The most unique part of the game is showcased when you enter battle. Rather than a top-down view of the cards, its presentation is more similar to a third-person turn-based dungeon crawler, with your hero cards fully rendered as 3D characters. Another way Labyrinth sets itself apart from Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering is the way it deals with resource cards. It basically gets rid of any kind of resources, and instead the only cost associated with each card is time, which is something that works really well with Clash Royale. So how does the multiplayer work in this dungeon crawler? All the dungeons and bosses you encounter are actually designed by other players. Labyrinth is actually an asynchronous multiplayer where you pre-set up your defensive deck. And if you're raided, you'll get a notification and a replay of what happened. Then you'll be able to go in and tweak your dungeon. So this game looks very promising, and some big names in gaming world are taking notice. Some of the early investors of the game include executives at Neversoft and Riot Games. Free Range is releasing this current pre-alpha build of Labyrinth on Steam as an early access title, but iOS and Android versions are in the works, so we can expect those to drop sometime later this year. The second game looking to jump on the PvP multiplayer hype train is Battle Bay, a new mobile game from Rovio, which is the studio behind Angry Birds. This new game takes the fight to the high seas as you man a fleet of cannon-equipped boats and face off 5 versus 5 against your opponent. And unlike Labyrinth, this features real-time PvP multiplayer. The scope of this game is really impressive as it feels more like the ship battles in Assassin's Creed Black Flag rather than a top-down PvP mobile game. The object of the game is pretty simple. The last team standing wins. Along the way, you can capture objectives that will allow you to train and level up your fleet. Battle Bay is in its soft launch phase right now and is available in a few countries including Canada. We're definitely excited to give this one a shot when it's finally released. And finally, we have a trailer for you for a brand new game called Super Arclight. It's a very unique looking shooter that has you moving alongside a circle base, blasting enemies that enter the arena, with your goal being not only to survive, but protect your base as well. The game reminds us a little bit of Geometry Wars, but with a little more minimalist style. The game is set to be released sometime this month, and the full game will be demoed next week at GDC. And that's all the news we have for you on this week's edition of OnCore. Are you jumping on the PvP multiplayer bandwagon? You should let us know by tweeting at us, and we'll see you next time.